Hey guys, it's Amit from Unlimited Elements, and in this tutorial I'm going to show about a question from Zoe Tame in the Elementor community group. He's asking how can I achieve this effect where I have a button with some color sliding effect, and also the text is offsetting to the middle once you are hovering. So we have two things going on here. We have the background sliding in and the text sliding out. So the first step to create this is creating the HTML and the CSS. And once we have our HTML and CSS, we want to create this into an Elementor widget that we can use in our projects. So the plugin I'm using is, of course, our plugin, Unlimited Elements. I'm inside the plugin and I'm inside the category I want to add this widget to. I'm going to click Add Add-on, and I need to give that a name. So I'm going to call it Offset Slide Button. Let's add that. It's been added. Double click. And over here we need to copy the HTML and the CSS. So first step, HTML. Second step, CSS. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to test this before I add any fields to it. We just want to see that everything is working as we expect. Add a new page, edit with Elementor, scroll to the middle over here, and we have this offset button. Added it, and it's working exactly as it should. Looks good. Next step, I'm going to close this page. And the next step is going to be making the settings for this. So we're going to attributes. The first setting will be button text. And the default for that will be button text. Let's go to HTML and replace this. Cool, we got that set up. Next thing I'm going to do is the button link. Default for that will be hashtag. Let's replace. Looking good, looking good. I also want to create an attribute for the target. So sometimes people want to open it in a new window. And sometimes they want it to open in the same window. For this, I can use or radio button or drop down field. Let's go for radio. And the answer for yes will be blank, and the answer for no will be self. Let's input that in the HTML, replacing the static HTML to a dynamic field. Cool, so I think we're done with the HTML part. Let's make some CSS attributes. So the first one will be a drop down for centering. So let's call that alignment. And the first option will be center. The second option will be left. And the third one will be right. Looks good. And let's add one more for color. So we have a color field where we can change that default pink we have in the CSS right now. So we need to replace the default center with our align field. And everywhere we have a color, We need to change that with our color field. Looks good. I think we have everything covered. Last thing I want to do is I want to change this static ID to a dynamic ID. So over here on the right, we can use the ID. And in the CSS, we will replace it also. The reason I'm changing it to a dynamic ID is if I will have more than one button on the page, I don't want their CSS to conflict. So right now, each one will get a specific ID and they will never conflict. Almost done. And last thing is to test this. Edit in Elementor. Scroll down. We got our button and we got all our fields. So if we're going to change this to a different text, it's going to show up and we can change the color. Perfect. So that was a real quick tutorial how to take some HTML and CSS you prepared beforehand and create it into a dynamic Elementor widget. I hope that was helpful. If you have any comments or feedback, please post them in the comments. Please don't hesitate to contact me personally. And see you next time. Thank you.